Another surprise hire. I mean, this happened. We were doing a live reaction show of Kent Hughes being
I remember
hired,
that.
and
I think we dropped the news first. I don't want. I'm just throwing it out there, like live
I don't know,
on
maybe,
YouTube.
But this is right after Dominique Ducharme got let go. I mean, we should probably highlight that too. That was kind of an important milestone here. But we have Martin Saint Louis that is hired as the 32nd head coach in the organization. I don't think any of us had Marty St. Louis' name anywhere near our paper, anywhere near our screens, because he was a complete surprise. A coach who has never, who was coaching Pee Wee, but has had a hell of a career in the NHL. How do we? Oh yeah, don't forget. He also brought the legs instead of. Never mind the arms. He brought the legs, which let's hope some of the boys start using very soon. But that's a subject for later. So thank you, Marty, for bringing your killer legs. Shane, get us started with your scorecard for Martin St. Louis and your reaction to the hire.
Well, I mean, everyone can go watch my reaction because you and I and Nick filmed right after. It was a crazy day. I remember we did a long show for Dominique Ducharme, and then we were
20 minutes after.
Who can be the replacement? Nobody named Martin St. Louis. He wasn't even on the board, right? And then 20 minutes later, like you said, we get the news. Hall of Famer is our new head coach. I mean, at first I was like perplexed. I didn't quite know what to think because he didn't have coaching experience. But I'm like, again, this just makes so much sense, right? This is a guy from here. Okay, he's bilingual. We know that. But the pedigree, the experience that this guy brings, and the respect, right? One big thing that went around with Ducharme is the fact that he didn't have control of the room, right? He didn't, quote unquote, have the respect of the guys. I wasn't in the room. I can't confirm. But for a fact that when that's it, Pierre Gervais, if you've read the book.
Please go read the book and you will get all the information. But yes, keep going.
Oh, yeah, it's juicy stuff. But when a guy like Martin St. Louis walks in the room, everybody is just watching and listening to him and only him. And they will fight for that guy, right? And we've heard tons of people say that. Chris Weidman, Nick Suzuki, when he was on, I asked him, about that one speech that he gave, his first speech. And apparently everyone was just like, phenomenal, crazy stuff. So it's kind of hard to give him a grade right now just because of the team that we have. It's like, it's not his fault that we're losing, but I will say I'll give him like a B+ because we saw the emergence of so many players after he came. Like Cole Caulfield is obviously the name that's been mentioned the most, right? He had 1 goal in 30 games under Ducharme, and he finished the season with 23. Like
insane.
Crazy stuff. And right now he's on pace for over 40 goals this season. So he's really brought out the best out of our best players. But I'm just dying to see what he can do with a contending team. Like when we'll be a steady playoff team, he's going to make the difference. I'm convinced.
Yeah, he's definitely been none of us had him on our radar, like we said, and it was kind of a big surprise. It was yet another major sign that this was a outside the box hiring, because what was Marty doing before this? He was coaching Pee Wee. Literally, he was Gordie Bombay before he got to the Canadiens. So, he comes in with this, Pee Wee coaching pedigree. No, that's not what it was. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a guy who's won at every single level. And he's a guy that had to fight his friggin' tail off every time he won at every level because he was doubted his entire playing career. So when that guy walks in the room and you hear from Nick Suzuki, Jake Evans, people that run a show, players that run a show, or anybody else that was in the room, the hair on their neck was standing up. You get goosebumps, you get chills, because this guy speaks from the heart and from the spirit, man. Like it's from deep within that he loves this game and he wants to transfer that to the team and then ultimately turn it into wins. And he did that. He got to the Canadiens, and what did they start doing? They started beating the Toronto Maple Leafs and other teams, and just upsetting teams left and right. Even though that Shane said it earlier this year on the show, they were the Canadiens became the most exciting last place team in the NHL, and Marty St. Louis was such a big part of that. And after years and years and years of watching Marty be a Hab killer on the ice against us with the Tampa Bay Lightning, it was friggin' refreshing to see him, with the CH on his breast jacket pocket, and just everything that he brings we know it's still early, and just as of this week, people are questioning him as a coach and all that stuff. It's not him, guys. It's definitely the team. But I think that the biggest thing that came out of him was what? The whole disarraying of the systems and introducing concepts. And he said how he hated having to play in a system as a player because they had no freedom to be creative and just make reads. So you're naturally on the rink. When I play ball hockey, like you make reads. It's read and react. That's hockey. And there's some concepts and skills that are developed, but we'll get to the development department being revamped in a second as well. But Marty is really just somebody that has been through it. So that's why guys are listening to him. Dom hadn't been through nearly enough of the adversity or the success or any of the stuff that Marty's been through. And therefore you can't relate to him. So that's why with Marty, you can relate to him and you want to get to the level he got to if you can, and maybe even higher. And he's going to try to help the guys do that.
Yeah. I don't have a worry with Martin behind the bench, even with the lack of experience. We've seen, I guess, how can I put this? We've seen one step of what he can do with a team in a rebuild. So imagine what he can implement when he's got a full team and that we're able to do something. So if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. But right now, Martin's not the problem. Let's be honest. And the hire of Martin Saint-Louis led to some notable hires here. So we have Marie-Philippe Poulin, speaking of diversity again with Chantal, another player of, what was she? Player of the year?
She won every
Canadian Player of the Year
award.
She won every single freaking award in 2022, every single medal, trophy, whatever it is, she's got it under her belt. I can't think of a more wonderful person to help this team develop with analytics and everything. She's great hire, and the best part of it is that she still has access to work on her career right now. So she's not letting go of anything to just focus on this. She's proving that she can do both. And down the line, if she does hang up her skates at one point, this is going to be great for this team if she can get a promotion within the organization. It also led to Vinny Le Cavalier, which is tied hand in hand with Kent Hughes, Martin Saint-Louis. We have Nick, like everybody who was hired, Adam Nicholas, Nick Brobrop has a connection to this organization or somebody in it.